Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Miami Minutes, the podcast where we only record an appropriate attire. Whether the people on screen are doing the same is another question. I am one of the hosts, Niall McGowan.
I love that you said that because, I'm here to do all of my business jean-clad.
Jeans, no shirt. That's the uniform now.
Oh, yeah. If you can rock a pair of jeans well, you don't need a shirt. You could argue some people in this scene don't rock them well.
No, I would argue that none of them rock them well.
And this isn't a body-shaming thing. This is just a general cool thing.
Yeah. Oh, this is... This entire minute is a bunch of people trying to look tough and failing spectacularly at doing so. This is a baffling minute to me. Like, it's I love it, but it's also just like... This is when you can see the budget and the casting limitations of Miami Connection really coming into the fray here.
Oh, bless. They're trying so hard, though.
Yeah, but this is minute 35, which opens with a weird flex, but okay. And it ends a minute later with a bearded sachet. Oh. So, yeah. Literally from shot one. There's a woman... doing like what was this, bench pressing?
No, this is what do you call this? You can tell neither of us work out very much.
We've been busy, John. We've been
very busy. I mean, I have in the past worked out, but I never gone to a gym. I don't pump iron. Look at me.
I've toyed with the idea. And it's like the idea of other people being around is what puts me off. Yeah. Quite frankly. So
I mean, it looks. I'm tempted to call it some kind of like a butterfly press or something. It looks like like. Going in and out. I don't know what.
It's a weird. Let's call it the weird flex. It's
yeah. Although she is badass, right? She's pumping that iron, feeling the burn, maxing the envelope, and so forth.
But again, though, like it all leads me back to when I was in a. Maybe they had seen Miami Connection and they knew not to do this. But I remember I was in a secondary school production of Grease.
Oh.
And when rehearsals started, they were like, make sure when you show up to, learn the choreography and all that stuff to rehearse, show up in like sportswear because you're going to be moving around. And they specifically said, do not dress in jeans because it's stupid. It's not the kind of thing you wear when you're working out. It's not as flexible. And this lady is like reclined on her back here with like high-waisted jeans buttoned way up to like her ribs. And it just everything about it. And then the guy, it looks like she's rolled up the shirt to be like, well, the sweat's really getting me. He's like, maybe you should have wore something more appropriate then. But then everything she's doing, she's got an earring going, this literally looks like they showed up for a different day of shooting and they're told, no, you're doing a gym scene now. This is what's actually happening.
Like, I haven't got any appropriate clothes. It doesn't matter. Get on that machine.
You're fine. It's totally fine.
No, it's very weird. Everything about... I think I hinted last minute about the jeans being very strange to me, and now that we're looking at them in even more detail, I'm baffled. I mean, they kind of look like they might have a stretchy waistband. There's something going on at the top of these jeans.
I wouldn't give them the benefit of that doubt. John, I think, having said it, I'm almost fairly certain now, if it wasn't that they showed up for a different day of shooting, is it that they shot another scene the same day, and they just didn't bother to change the wardrobe? Like, this could be like the big climactic fight was shot earlier this day, or it's been shot later in the day, and this is them working out to get ready for it.
Oh, yeah, that very well could be the case.
Like YK's just like, loosen yourselves up, get on the machines, YK Kim, get on the weird flex machine over there, why don't you?
Although I've just noticed 2 topless guys.
No, of course.
Oh, Jesus! Take a drink. Oh,
take a drink. I do have I'll save it for after though, because one thing I did note about this lady is that she's got the very I'm sure people have do it into their 20s and stuff, but. The very secondary school maneuver of drawing on her jeans with marker pen.
Every girl, especially, I knew, did this.
That's not because I guess if it's permanent marker, you assume, I'll stay for a while. But it just seems like you're just ruining a perfectly good pair of jeans, quite frankly.
Yeah, basically. And did you notice what she's written on them?
I see that she's got Led Zeppelin written down.
Yeah.
one. And then what I was hoping was going to be, because I was a big Zepp head back in the day, I thought she was going to have like the Led Zeppelin 4 logo, because the Zoso sign and all like the little symbols they had. It was all very cryptic. To this day, Led Zeppelin fans are debating what the symbols mean. Oh. And knowing Led Zeppelin, they probably meant nothing.
It's just to fuck with you.
Not so much. It probably meant something when they scribbled it down, but they were off their tits when they were doing it. So they're just like, I don't know what it means now. But when I was like absolutely rammed with cocaine, it seemed like a great idea.
I'm sure someone involved was like, "This is genius."
This is like, it was an idea we had, and then we got busy inserting a swordfish into a local groupie we picked up, and then we just forgot about what it was. We were too busy like necking whiskey and shooting up heroin on a private jet. So
yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, but don't worry, they wound down by going to... Oh, no, that was the album before. They went to Led Zeppelin 3. It's like, oh, we're down the back a bit, so they just went and drank nothing but cider and sat in a cottage in the country and wrote like a little acoustic album.
I like the way downing countless, pints of cider. That's taking it easy.
No, but to be fair, I'd say Led Zeppelin 3 it's the one with the worst album art, but it's the best album. It's like, it is all kind of weird, folky... like acoustic numbers, except immigrant songs. It's like, this is our acoustic album. Let it go. And it starts with immigrant song. You're like, you guys know what acoustic is?
Yeah, you got to ease the fans into it.
It's like, oh, that was a leftover from the last album. But then again, and then the 4 is just like kind of back to more classic Led Zeppelin. Oh, there's some acoustic stuff in there too.
4 seems to be the one though that most of... I'm not saying it's the best because I don't know their catalogue in and out. 4 seems to be the one everyone lauds, though. Like, that's the one. Yeah,
that's the one that has, like, Stairway to Heaven and stuff on it. Yeah. They have one of my favorite songs by them is on there, The Battle of Evermore.
I know that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of played on a lute. And then it's just like, it's Robert Plant, doing his thing, and then Jimmy Page comes in and starts singing in this falsetto about just like, it's all Lord of the Rings stuff, like, because they're big Tolkien nerds, those guys. So like in the middle of these hard rock songs, they'll just start throwing in stuff about Gollum and the Dark Lord and all this, and you're like, yeah, these guys rock gods, but they're geeks. Like that's the way it rolled back in the day.
I love that though. It's like they're just nerds at heart.
Yeah, I think it's actually still true today though, because usually when you find out about rock stars, or even like big Vin Diesel.
Yep.
Is like a big Dungeons and Dragons guy. It's like, oh, the nerds rule the world. Like that's why these nerd properties are so big. It's because the cool people are infiltrating and getting in there with them.
Exactly. And I love that Vin Diesel is such a nerd. He made a movie about his D&D character.
Yeah.
The Last Witch Hunter. That's his character that he plays as. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to make a fucking movie about it.
Yeah. They're in the world now that Chris Pine is out making. He's like, yeah, I'm the star of Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah. Yep. That's what it's like, aren't you the most beloved Hollywood Chris? Yes, that's right. And I'm making... me and Michelle Rodriguez are in a Dungeons and Dragons movie.
And shockingly, I've heard, as of recording, that it's pretty good.
That's the shocker, yeah. It seems like it's like I'm planning to go see it because mostly because I'm back home in Ireland at the minute and the cinema costs nothing, so I'll go out and see that. But I will be disappointed though because I know it won't feature Jeremy Irons, but he was like the only reason. Like, the only thing I really remember about the original Dungeons and Dragons movie was Jeremy Irons and that guy who played Jimmy Olsen in the Superman, like the 90s, Terry Hatcher Superman show. He was in it. He was like the star of it. And I just remember Jeremy Irons hamming it up.
Oh, like, he knew exactly what movie he was in. Yeah.
This is him standing on top of a castle going, "Let the blood rain from the sky."
They should have got Jeremy Irons in a bit part just as like a nod to that.
They should just get him back as the villain. He didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah. They need him, and they need... What was that flying thing from the cartoon?
I don't remember.
What was he called? I'll edit this out. I'll look it up. Dragons cartoon characters. Fuck, there's loads of characters. Oh, fuck off.
And they all fly. God damn it.
There's a lot of them with wing. Yeah, nah, fuck it. There's too many. I won't remember which one this is. But awesome. Have you seen what else she has written on the pants? Because it's quite hard to notice, but below Led Zeppelin,
no,
AC/DC.
Oh,
you can only see the lightning bolt and the DC.
Oh, okay.
But I know
Are you
that
sure
lightning bolt anywhere.
Are you sure she's not a hardcore DC Comics fan?
Yeah, DC rocks. Marvel sucks.
She can have the little earbuds in there listening to Batman while she's working out. She's such a hardcore DC fan.
We'll get her on the pod, on both pods.
Yeah. Although there's one thing I did note is that there is no music playing throughout this entire workout, which I guess they might be like, well, we're not gonna. It could maybe that's where Angelo reached his limit because they're like, well, we're not gonna pay for licensed music. So Angelo, write us some workout music. He's like, I can't, man. Like, it was like literally the morning of. They probably asked him to do it, and he's like, unless you want to use Dragon Sound again,
just do Friends again.
He rewrites it and calls it Enemies because it's the bad guys listening to this time.
Enemies forever.
It's in a lower key.
It can be in the style of Led Zeppelin or AC/DC, actually. Enemies.
But, or they're just like, he's like, well, I still got that synth heavy thing I was pitching to you, YK. He's like, no, I'll never play it. No one's ever gonna hear it. Get over it, man.
Oh, bless him. That needs to be released.
I thought it was gonna be like a doom core, like it was a really slow, somber synth piece or something.
Yeah.
Which would actually work out for like, oh, bad guys working out. Yeah, they're into like their doom metal or something.
I could see that.
This one chord change every 2.5 minutes. It just goes dong.
How do you work out to that?
You get into the intensity, Joe.
Oh yeah, feel it inside.
I will say though, I believe there to be although again though, Led Zeppelin or AC/DC, very good music to work out to.
Yeah,
So,
I could see that. Yeah, because I think when you're working out, you don't necessarily want music you'd normally listen to.
Yeah,
I would want something high tempo, but not techno. I would want something uplifting. Like, it's like just cheesy and fun and like,
yeah.
So they fit the bill perfectly. There is some sort of a logo above Led Zeppelin on her leg, and I can't make out what that is. Is it just a symbol? Because there is a pentagram on her knee. I don't think that's meant to be a band, is it?
Or you never know, it could be a star, David. You know, maybe she's just like representing her faith, you know. Although she does have a crucifix on her ear as well, so probably not.
She's deliberately being contrary.
Yeah. Or she's like, I celebrate all faiths. I've got no agenda. I've got no beef. Like I'm out for all people. But
she's a walking bloody advert for that. What was it? Coexist. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
It's every faith written in coexist.
Although her crucifix earring did remind me of the crucifix that like Sarah Michelle Gellar has in Cruel Intentions with all the cocaine in it. I was like, oh, she looks like she's such a good girl. She's got cocaine in her crucifix. She's a badass.
And that would make perfect sense for this character.
Yeah, totally. Keep the there's no music to keep your blood pumping, so you gotta get something. You get these people going.
Get that coke in you, baby, and then you don't need music.
Yeah. I'm sure it's just a lever on the machine as well, but it really looked like she's got like a truncheon at her side.
Oh yeah. I think it's like a handle to hold on to, isn't it?
Yeah. Unless she plays a cop in another scene, they're just like, get the blue shirt off, pop on the machine, you're fine.
Unless she's such a badass, she beat up a cop and took it.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed an opportunity to quote The Phantom Menace.
Well,
where it's
you can edit it back in now, John.
Perhaps I killed a cop and took it from him. I'm Qui-Gon.
No, but that's what he says in the movie too.
It's word for word. He killed a cop and took the truncheon. Or what do they call him in America? They don't call him a truncheon.
Bully Club.
Billy Club. That's
Billy
it.
Club. That's it. Yeah.
I think that's it.
No, that was just more the way saying I'm Qui-Gon. That's after every line of dialogue that he has, he just goes, I'm Qui-Gon.
I'm Qui-Gon. I've just realised it's not a billy club, is the old school truncheon that's just a club. And I know this from wrestling, as always, with everything.
Yeah.
The modern one, Americans call a nightstick.
Ah, that does sound like, it makes it sound a little less abusive. Because Billy Club is so close to Bully Club. It's like, well, they're just going around hassling people. That's all it is. That's what it's for. Just go around beating people up. So.
But the nightstick it's still a stick. You're still beating someone with a stick.
We're not covering up the truth. We're just making it sound a little bit cooler, I guess. Nightstick. It's like Batman carries one. He's got a nightstick.
I the clothes again, though. Like, I imagine that the idea behind all of this attire, because there's her in the jeans, there's other people in jeans, but as you mentioned, all the clothes aren't right.
Yeah.
I imagine they're thinking, if it's not just a budget thing, is they've gone, how do we show that this is a rough and tough place, that this is the bad guy gym?
Because the actual gym that we're filming in won't allow us to like dingy it up, so we have to like, oh, it's a very respectable gym, yeah, but we have to make it seem like this is the badasses doing this in here.
And they're so badass, they don't even own sports clothes. They don't need that.
They don't even own clothes. Half of them they just go around shirtless most of the time.
Hey, it's hot.
People, I'm going to say, who should be probably wearing shirts. Not wearing shirts in this minute. But,
I mean, I'm a fan of people wearing shirts in most situations. Do what you want. I'm just talking about in my personal feeling,
Yeah. I did note, though, because we go from like the and then there's a classic filmmaking technique of moving things around to make it seem as if you've got more people in the room than you actually do. But in those opening shots, we got this lady doing her thing on the flex machine, and then across from her, you see in the background there's a guy in green trousers, but like to the immediate left, like he's only half there. There's a guy, sunglasses, bandana and whatnot, little heavy set. And then you cut to the next shot. That's that same lady, and then that same guy is somehow then beside her on a different machine.
Oh, I tell you what, I am always an idiot for stuff like this. I never notice, even if I'm going minute by minute. I never notice.
No, so this guy, he's like one of my favorite characters in the whole movie. Like we kind of got a proper introduction. He's been in it before. But, like, we kind of got his introduction is kind of later this minute, and he becomes more prominent as the film goes on. So, when I see that guy, my eye is instantly drawn to him. so I was like, there he is. There he is again. So,
if you made your own movie, you'd be casting him immediately.
Oh, yeah. They'll track him down. Maybe he's still alive. You never know. For all the people. I think that'll be the quest of Miami Mints. Will be like, well, try to track down some of these extras and whatnot. It's like, even verifying if they're alive or dead is going to be the challenge. But,
which is the one that you particularly like, then?
Which extra do I particularly like? What's the... It's the heavy guy. The guy who, like, later on in this minute is
brilliant.
Really barely crammed into a pair of jeans. And it's just like, and I have to say, we'll get to it when we get to it. I admire his confidence.
I do. To say. Absolutely, yeah. And he really reminds me, as everything comes back to wrestling, he looks almost exactly like a young version of the wrestler Vader.
Maybe it is, John. Maybe that's what happened to him.
It's possible. It's possible.
Later in the movie, he gets knocked into some lava by YK Kim. And then he's resurrected as Vader by the WWF.
That's the thing, right? Vader is acknowledged as one of the greatest big men in wrestling, right? Ever. But I've always had one thing against him. Well, two things. One, he's called Vader. You can't call yourself Vader. That's fucking stupid. And number two, he's got the dumbest mask I've ever seen in wrestling history. So I will show you a picture of him without the mask so you can see that. I think he looks like this guy. Let me find one. I've typed in no mask and it's showing him with the mask. You fucking arsehole.
That's a natural contrarian in Google.
Yeah. Here we go. This is a picture of him with he's got the shitty mask on, and there's a maskless one. You can't really see the shitty mask. So that's a picture of him. It's the picture of him without the mask that I'm kind of getting at here.
It's like if it's just a still from Miami Connection. Oh no, I can see it. Yeah, he looks like this. Like he's this guy after like 30 years of hard graft.
Yeah, exactly. He's got the vibes.
He's been down the mill for 45 years straight.
And there I've sent you a picture of why I hate his mask.
No. I know. I remember Vader. I remember.
Oh, you remember him? I didn't think you
totally. Yeah. It looks like he has a pair of panties wrapped around his head most of the time.
A bit like that Japanese movie, Hentai Kamen.
Yeah. It's going for like the I'm sure somebody got off in that Vader mask. Like it's,
Wow.
It's so distinctly kinky that someone's like, oh.
It is very kinky, which is odd. But I hope, I mean, R.I.P. Vader, I hope he got some with the mask on.
Although the thing is, like, he strikes me as the kind of guy who wouldn't wash the mask. So it'd be like, oh, that's gone like 20 years of sweat soaked into that leather.
Yeah, you got to really bake it in. You know? No, that's all I could think of with this guy, and that's why I loved him. So we're both on the same sort of.
I'm pretty sure he becomes more. I remember in casual viewings of Miami Connections, that guy always standing out to me. I think he gets a lot more to do as the film goes on. But this is a minute chock full of friggin' memorable extras. Some of whom we've met before. It's been a long time, particularly because we were doing it a minute a week. But I believe like 20 weeks ago we seen some of these guys already.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a guy here on the left pumping iron, topless again. So that's another drink. I'm not counting the other two because we've drank for them. There we go. Yeah. But I think there might be more in the background. But it's kind of hard to make out how many. I'm going to be perfectly honest, because in the background, it's like we're looking at them through workout equipment. I reckon there's another 4 or 5 in the back, but yeah.
There's everything going on here too. It is very budgetary around constraints. Like not only are they using the same extras over again, they've got mirrors around and stuff too. Gives the illusion of there being more people there than there actually are and stuff. And
that's clever filmmaking.
Yeah, although it's weird because it's like, oh, for this scene we couldn't get many people, but when Dexy was out trying to assault Dragon Sound, oh, we got everybody in town to come down for that scene. Literally 500 people show up for it.
Well, that makes it seem even more like they just threw this in at the last minute.
I was genuinely at one point thinking, did they get the scenes out of order in this film when I saw this scene? Because this was a minute I was coming on, I was like, oh, I don't remember this bit. And everything about what happens in this minute, it would have made more sense had this come, like, before the big fight scene in the street.
Yeah.
Because it looks as if, like, I guess the implied thing of what this scene is, it is the return of Dexy's. We thought he was gone, but no, he's still around. And it's him going, like, I better go and muscle up and get some people to help me take out Dragon Sound. But you already had, like, a fleet of people trying to take out Dragon Sound, most of whom I'm fairly certain are in this gym right now. Like, I'm pretty sure they just put on different headbands. That was it. That's all they've done.
Because didn't it, we talked about this, it was a collaboration between Dexy's Midnight Runners and Jeff's crew.
I think we thought it was, but I'm guessing now it's just like, unless, in the next minute they're like, well, that thing didn't work out. But it would make more sense to me if they had done this first, than when all those guys showed up in their freaking tow trucks and stuff. That was Jeff's crew. And then afterwards, he's like, well, that didn't work out. I'm going to have to go straight to Yoshido. But no, it seems it's like, no, he just got all his bumpkin friends to come out. They all got their asses kicked. And, in a movie that had a budget, this would be the bit where he comes in and he gets like, Ivan Drago or someone.
Oh, yeah.
You'd have like these guys who were like insane. Someone you would see like how he's stepping his game up by a bit. Like, you get extreme martial artists in. Someone who's not like a white guy. Basically, like not all of YK Kim students again, but you get like someone who really looks like they know what they're doing, like Yoshido. But I'm assuming like, well, we don't have anyone else around that. We've already cast them as the hero and the villain, so all we've got is these white guys.
They'll do.
Yeah, or get a proper like huge muscle man in, or some guys who look like they're ripped as all hell.
Yeah, a lot of these guys don't look that tough.
Yeah. Some of them flat out, they look like they're strung out in drugs, most of them.
Yeah.
Like,
which does kind of fit, I guess. They're a criminal gang.
Yeah. It's almost as if, like, some of them, it's kind of, like, it's weirdly at odds with, like, their whole vibe. It's like, well, if Jeff was coming in, it's like, I just need people who fight dirty this time. We went out there, look, just to rough people up, but, these guys were ninjas. We need someone to come in who looks like they'll just stick them with a knife at the first given opportunity. Which is what a lot of these guys do look like, to be fair. Like, if they could get in close enough, they wouldn't fight with honor. They would just go stab you in the eye the first chance they get. So
maybe it is a deliberate thing at this point. Like, get the scumbags in.
Yeah. Although, again, you think that would have been his first port of call. Like, he would have started off low. He's like, all right, get me in some cheap scumbags. And then he'd get, like, this leather cap guy with his stick.
Oh, him.
He's assholes.
Hey, I love him and I hate him, right? He looks like, I think, what the incel crowd want to look like, while at the same time looking absolutely awful.
Yeah,
like, he's got definite neo-fascist vibes, right?
Mm. He just looks like Kid Rock to me. He's just
he
like,
does look a bit like that.
This is like strung out Kid Rock. This is like Kid Rock at his lowest, you know?
Especially when you see him again in a minute, you get a really good close-up of him. It's like, it's Kid Rock.
Yeah. And it's going because he's next to a guy later on who looks exactly like a strung out version of George Harrison. So I was like, man, it's like the traveling Wilburys of scumbags around here.
Then again, George Harrison was on a lot of stuff himself.
Yeah. But I think some would say mildly better musician than Kid Rock, though.
Mildly, just a little bit, a tiny bit. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Kid Rock's up there with the Beatles, but
yeah. But this scene could work to me if because this guy, he seems like he'd be one of Jeff's leaders. We've seen him around and stuff. This guy already, but he also has a vibe of like these people are like, doing proper practice fighting, and then he comes along with his stick and just decides to like go, and it's all terribly choreographed, and it really looks like they're waiting for him, and then they do this jump over the stick, which is very much like we set up the camera deliberately to do that. It's not like a clever maneuver we've done in any way. It's not like fast thinking. It's just like, no, you put down the stick, and then we grab the stick, and then we roll over the stick. And
I love how slowly he prepares to strike with it. Just like...
But I think you could make this work, though, by being, like, Jeff himself is, like, he's a real fitness guy, and he's all about, taekwondo and, like, getting himself honed, and then he's got his, these people he's training, but he's also got his old, like, drug buddies or whatever. People, like, he uses for, like, again, little scumbag guys he can send out to do his dirty work, who will just come in and, like, they'll be the one there to sit there going, meh, like behind the muscle and stuff.
Oh, they're always my favorite characters, where they just pop out and go, you better watch out.
Yeah. And you're just waiting for them to die. They're basically like, this is the guy that's like Sully in Commando. You're just waiting. That's right, Basics. You're dead. I lied. That's that little hateful little scumbag, Yeah. But so there could have been a little setup, though, of him been like, all this bullshit, Because he was one of the guys earlier in the movie who was like, you think you're so bad, all that kicking and shit.
Yep.
And then now you find out they're in the gym training. But there should have been a little bit of him going like, well, these guys, him just coming out and actively just trying to go for people unexpectedly. And going like, look, it won't protect you from this. This is all bullshit, man. And
I reckon that should be part of the training. Like, this guy's in charge of the day. He just wanders around the gym, and occasionally he'll just attack someone. And it's part of your training. You got to be ready.
And then, like, one of the other guys goes for him, and then unexpectedly he's all of a sudden got a knife to their neck going, yeah, not so good now, are you? And all that. Like, he has a real intense hatred in him and a hatred for martial arts, because he's just like, nothing's better than just going up and attacking people unawares. And that's why Jeff uses him. It's like, oh yeah, he's a sneaky little crap. Like, he'll just, he'll slither in. He's not good in a fight, but he'll end one very quickly because he doesn't mind, like, ripping out your throat and stuff. But no, it just seems as if this guy has chosen to work out, again in jeans, with, like, knee-high boots and, like, a Marlon Brando Wild One leather cap, with a neckerchief knotted about his shoulders.
The maddest bit to me is the hat. Who works out in a leather hat?
Well, the thing, I almost guarantee he's probably balding under there, and that's what the issue is.
I take it all back. I feel for him then.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not taking off my hat, YK. He's like, well, it might look weird. But this is like, what doesn't look weird in Miami Connection? But frankly, I'm a little disappointed. Aren't people walking around with towels over their shoulders this entire scene?
Yeah, well, that's actually one thing the bad guys don't seem to join in with.
Oh, they don't care about wiping. They don't wipe down the machines, John.
That shows they're villains. They don't wipe.
If Jim was there, he'd be wiping down before everything. He'd be wiping down before and after. He'd be wiping you down. Like, that's this whole...
They don't even wipe after they do their business in the bathroom.
They're just that dirty. Dirty fighters, dirty poopers. I don't know.
The dirty old assholes. DOA. It's the name of the gang.
That'd be really terrible. If you're like, oh, we're DOA. It's like, that's such a badass name. Wasn't mean dirty old asshole. It's like, was it just your dirty fighters? No, we're just never white.
Hey, there was that whole weird incel thing tying into that again on Reddit where men weren't washing their asses. Because it was gay.
Really?
Yeah, it's gay to touch your ass. So they were just having these stinking arseholes.
Wasn't the whole thing, though? I remember Sheryl Crow, way back in the day. She got a lot of crap. Because I think she went on like a public tirade about how people should only use one square of toilet paper.
Right, I think about that every time I go to the toilet. And it angers me, because it's like, you are not clean if you're using one square.
Yeah, but I think back then she passionately defended it, and then now she's been like, okay, maybe I was wrong. But I'm thinking she's like, well, what way are you like folding it into like a multi-purpose square? How much time do you have in there, Cheryl?
It's insane. I'm sorry. Maybe it's my diet. I'm a vegetarian. I need more than one.
Yeah. Although it could be, though, we're like hurtling towards climate change and all. So then Sheryl Crow is like, if you'd all just used one square like I told you to years ago, the planet wouldn't be in this state.
I get the need, I'm an environmentalist. I understand what she wants to do, but unless we can come up with a different product, I'm sorry. We're going to have to make cuts in other areas.
It's become out like, Cheryl, you should understand, but, every day is a winding turd. So, and you need more than one to deal with that.
You absolutely do. You're wrong.
Yeah. I thought finding that it wasn't actually Sheryl Crow. It was Shania Twain said that. Instead, we're just going out bad-mouthing Sheryl Crow all this time. But I'm pretty certain it was her.
Despite me thinking about it every day of my life, I don't remember who said it.
I'm fairly certain it was Sheryl Crow. It was either
I'll
her.
Trust you.
It was no, because I was going to say it was either her or Alanis Morissette. I'm fairly certain it wasn't Alanis Morissette, so it could only really be Sheryl Crow. So. Maybe that's why her career is not as burgeoning as it was.
Because she stinks.
Old one square crow over there.
Everyone smells her before she enters the room.
Yeah, it's as the crow shits. Apparently, not much.
Oh, this has to be a first that it's got. Our conversations have turned to the bathroom.
Well, it's just again though, as this guy's going in with the stick, it's just it's like a sea of denim. Yeah. Everybody's wearing jeans. It's like, come on, guys, you people must know. Maybe in the 80s they just didn't know not to wear this stuff in the gym. Like,
or maybe they've bought those jeans you've probably seen people make memes out of that were designed by Chuck Norris, he modeled them, where they're specifically designed to be like for martial arts, so he can do martial arts whilst wearing jeans. They're really stretchy.
Let's see. That wouldn't surprise me if that's exactly what it is. Like, and maybe maybe wear them. Chuck Norris will come in and sponsor. Because Jeff's whole thing, he looks like Chuck Norris. So yeah, that would actually 100% make sense. If it was a thing that was around in like 1986, then yeah, sure, it's the Chuck Norris pants.
I think they were, but look, they don't look quite right. These look like they're just jeans they got down the market. Which I'm not knocking them for. I bought jeans down the market back in the day.
Yeah. To be fair though, back this is 86, John. They all just look like that. There were no good jeans back in the 80s. They all just look like friggin' stonewashed crap.
I would argue there aren't really any good jeans now. Yeah.
I saw there today. Someone put up a photo shoot that Brie Larson has done for Elle or something. And they were like, oh, it's Brie Larson doing like a mask kind of like look and stuff. And my big takeaway is like, she's wearing Jenkos. Is Brie Larson going to try to bring back Jenkos single-handedly?
I wanted to. Why not? I used to wear them, and I thought she looked great in those pictures. So
yeah, and she's going to be this like, I freaking got Captain Marvel, a movie nobody liked and nobody wanted, over the $1 billion mark. I am going to bring back Jenko jeans, whether people want it or not.
Do it. Get her to revive everything. If the XFL fails again now that The Rock owns it, give it to her.
Well, The Rock's not had a good year, quite frankly.
That's true. Especially as of, I think, today, recording, you'll hear this, in a few weeks. Didn't it kind of come out that he is sort of responsible for tanking Black Adam and sort of Superman?
Yeah, well, the big news I heard was that Zachary Levi, who plays Shazam, basically retweeted and kind of thumbs up a thing about a rumor that Shazam was supposed to feature in Black Adam in a post-credit scene, and The Rock cut that out. The Rock also refused to film scenes for Shazam 2, and was basically kind of alluding that, he was wanted to, like, craft all of DC to be around him and him alone.
Yeah.
And there were supposed to be scenes of, like, the Justice Society in Shazam 2. The Rock cut those. And it was just, a big ego fest for The Rock. And because of that, then, there's basically no connective tissue between Black Adam and Shazam, even though Black Adam is a Shazam villain, for Christ's sake.
Yep.
And because you got 2 Shazam movies, Black Adam features in the first one as just a background detail. It's like, it's insane. And so it just seems like, The Rock was hoping he was going to be able to craft DC to be around him. And it's just getting worse and worse how much that failure has come to bite him in the ass.
And you know what it'll be as well? He'll be like, well, Shazam's a comedy. It's like, what I'm doing is serious. I don't want those two things to connect.
That is weird, though, because we the people don't know, we did review Black Adam for Batman. It was not on the Patreon either. It's like a free episode. But the weird thing is, in Black Adam, he is doing a lot of comedy in it. It's like he's doing a kind of goofy, like, fish out of water thing. So it's like, this would work. He would work well against Shazam. Because Shazam is like a little boy who's, in the body of an adult. And he's kind of getting used to being a superhero. And then having a guy who's supposed to be like a genocidal maniac, but who's out of time.
That's
so
great.
He's coming up and like, what the hell is going on? This is all new stuff to me. I've never been in New Jersey. I don't even know what it is. I've never been in Philadelphia. I don't even know what that is. There's comedy to be mined there, Rock. You missed the opportunity. It's gone now.
And he's known, like, back in the WWF, he was comedic.
Yeah. Oh, he's a funny guy, The Rock. So, it's terrible. But the thing is, now it comes out more because he always seemed to be like, I'm all about the Snyder fans. I'm gonna get you Henry Cavill back as Superman. I'm gonna fix this for you. And now it seems to be more like it was only ever about The Rock. It wasn't about what the fans wanted. It was more like, no, I'm gonna make sure I'm front and center. And then if I can do that by also getting Henry Cavill there, as long as he's under my boot, I don't care. And so he had no interest in the future of the franchise. He just wanted to be about him. So
it's a shame. Because he always comes across like a nice guy otherwise,
Yeah.
But I guess everyone can fall victim to a bit of ego.
No, but I'm here for the Rock redemption whenever he comes back. But
that sounds like a movie, The Rock Redemption.
Yeah, it sounds like it would have been a mid-2000s, straight to DVD sequel to The Rock.
Exactly.
With no feel like it's got like William Sadler instead of Sean Connery.
Not one person from the original. Actually, no, there'll be one random character who was in 2 scenes who comes back.
Yeah. It's like, we couldn't get Nicolas Cage. We got, I don't know, Sean Patrick Flannery or someone in instead.
I love that whole genre of awful sequels that were like available in the bargain bin in the corner of the post office.
Yeah, it's just like The Rock Redemption starring C. Thomas Howell.
Oh God, where the hell are we with this?
Guys laid down the big stick there. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, and this mad, fight practice is going on. And there's just people casually using the machines in the background like nothing's happening, which makes me think that this is normal, that this guy just goes around hitting people or trying to hit people slowly with a stick.
It seems like they could have done something else to, like, maybe this gang has come in and now taken over the gym. So there were normal people using the machines, and now they've been, like, intimidated out of the gym or something.
Yeah.
And so you see people scrambling off the machines and like running away because like these psychos have come in or something.
That'd be cool. And you know what? I'd be intimidated enough in a normal gym with normal people. So if these guys came in, in the context of the movie, I would be scared.
Yeah. Or would you be scared about the other people who come in though? After, because they actually cut a more intimidating stride. Though to be fair, Dexy was a blowhard asshole the whole movie, so it shouldn't be really too shocked that he still carries himself with a swagger and stuff. But.
Yeah, even though he got his ass kicked, which he has no shame in saying.
Yeah. Oh, he will actively rant it from the treetops if you.
Yeah, he's not like one of those guys who's like, well, I nearly had him, but
I like that he's relatively kind of contained in this scene. He's been good. Imagine others like, so what exactly happened? He's like, it's just business. So just go get your boss. Like, there's some sort of, I don't know, some sort of son of a bitch do something. Son of a bitch.
He's restraining himself. He just wants to let it out. Oh, you know what? I do need to also let out my desire for a drink because we've got 3 topless dudes again. Oh, jeez. Take a drink. There's going to be more, but we've already drank for the ones coming up. So this is your last one for a bit, I think. But the thing with Dexy, he appears to have spilled pasta sauce on his bandage.
Yes, this is a particularly bad makeup job, what they got going on up there.
It's orange.
Yeah. It really does look like... it's as if like it's either that or he tried to make himself like a cool Japanese flag headband or something, and it just went terribly wrong. But
this makes me look tough, right? Like a ninja.
Yes, I'll get in with this kung fu group. They'll think I do kung fu too.
That'd be great. But then, what martial arts do the bad guys do?
Well,
have we found this out? Do they do Japanese stuff? Do they do Korean?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'm assuming we know Jeff knows Yoshito, but they're not part of that, like, ninja group.
No.
So is he learning things from Yoshito? Or is it like, no, we're just buddies? But, like, yeah, so it would make more sense if it was just like, these guys aren't, like, martial artists. They're just, rough and tumble ruffians.
Exactly.
And they're ready to, go out and, like, they're shit kickers. Like, they're ready to go, like, smash bottles in heads. And, like, they'll mess people up. By just like this, because they don't care about themselves. They'll happily like eat glass if it gets somebody else hurt. That kind of thing.
And they could still be connected to Yoshito and that crew because they could be dealing the drugs on the streets for them.
Yeah. And then you'd have a thing where like they take on Dragon Sound and it doesn't work, and then Dexys and Jeff are like, well, we need people with a bit more finesse than this.
Yeah.
But this movie pauses like, no, Dexy tries once with a legion of people who come in and are just like rough and tumble assholes. And then he just goes get these other guys who also just seem to be kind of rough and tumble assholes who apparently might know martial arts. And then eventually we do get the ninja showdown at the end. But it just seems like, there's an extra story beat in here that could have been taken out. Again, if you just combine the characters of Dexys and Jeff together into one, then the film will be like 45 minutes long, I guess. Might be the problem. But
and we would miss out on lots of wonderful chat.
Yeah. But they're so literally both white guys with beards, and they're just both very angry all the time. Like Dexys and
isn't that every white guy? I'm gonna get roasted for that.
I'm wondering, these guys, are they coming into the gym, or were they also working out just in suits?
In suits?
Because they're like, we're already people just showing up without any appropriate attire on. So.
Oh, we need to develop the workout suit. So you can go straight from the gym to the boardroom.
But although we do know also that he does utilize that jacket as a weapon. He did it in the past. So maybe he's like, I have to train with the jacket. So,
It's a nice jacket, though. I hate the colour, but I mean the fit. When you see the back of it, it's like got darts in it or something. It's very nipped in at the waist. And if you look at second 31, Dexy got cake. He's packing booty.
You all about that Dexy head? Oh yeah. Oh, he's got like a saucy little stance going on there. Yeah.
That's a big butt.
Yeah, he's got like a little tease to the side there. He's like, all right, well, maybe if I have to really charm them, I'm ready to do this. He's like, I'll seduce these sons of bitches if it kills me.
Although his lackeys are doing something that I personally don't like. I say lackeys. Are these his bandmates?
Oh, yeah, I'm assuming, yeah. These are the Midnight Runners, of course.
Yes.
Although I found out recently, because I always just assume, like, Dexy's Midnight Runners is just like, it's like a silly word, it's a term they made. Must be a reference to like an old soul song or something like that. Apparently, no, the name basically means meth heads.
Oh.
Because it's like Dexys is another name for like dexamethasone or something like that.
Oh, dexamethasone.
Yeah.
Because I do that at work, yeah.
Yeah, and then the Midnight Runners are the people out looking for it after midnight. Like running it down and stuff. So Dexy's which is weird because they were like a straight edge band.
Yeah. What the
back
hell?
Back in the day, I think, since then he's had his ups and downs in drugs, but like way back when they started, they were like clean cut Dexy's Midnight Runners. They're all about the music.
Maybe they were making fun of druggies.
Yeah, could be, yeah. It's like all these assholes out with their old dungaree, like denim and crap. Although these guys, it seems now Jeff is going with or not Jeff, but Dexy's himself is going with the Dexy Midnight Runners. Like, they always had the album, with every album, there would be a new image change.
Yep.
So you had, like, the Gino days with all the leather jackets and stuff, and then they had the Tourale, like the Come On Eileen era.
Oh, that's the worst one.
Yeah, I always said, like, the next one was the worst, because the next one they were just wearing suits, but not, like, cool suits. They were just, like, they just looked like accountants, and it was a bit like, at least with the dungarees and stuff, you had a thing going on, But,
yeah, I suppose at least it's a gimmick. Yeah. Although, they're doing here something I don't like, personally. Like a long jacket with contrasting colour pants. I don't like when your jacket and your pants don't match unless it's like excessively. Like, I'll wear a black jacket with tartan pants. Like that's excessive difference. But when it's just like this, I'm like, it looks like you've just put the wrong jacket on.
Yeah, it reminds me of Michael Bluth for some reason.
Yeah.
I think I remember Jason Bateman always going to go around with cream pants with like a brown jacket.
It was a big thing. Like it's gone through many phases. It comes and goes. I mean, Teddy Boys would do a similar kind of thing, but they had nicer jackets, so it's different, Do
you think it's and bringing back wrestling sort of affiliated things, John? There's another thing there because like. Dexy's got that. He's got a full cream suit.
Yeah.
Those guys, they've got like cream pants, but not on top. As you're trying to say that the cream has risen to the top with Dexy's. That's why he's the boss. So he gets to wear the entire cream suit. Their cream's still down low.
It's rising.
Once they'll get gradually like maybe get a cream tie later, cream shirt, and then at the very end they'll get the creem jacket.
You got to earn your cream.
Yeah.
Every time you do a successful mission, you get a new item of cream. I've got cream socks.
I was like, but secretly it's actually beige, but he's just hoping nobody knows.
Oh, that's amazing! Thanks for that one, Macho.
That's
your new nickname. You're Macho from now on.
Well, it does suit my personality. Oh, Macho Man! I played literally any character in Miami Connection.
Yeah.
I was going to say if he played Dexy's. No, if he played any of them. Like, he could have played freaking John in this, and it would have been a better movie.
I would have liked him as anybody but Dexy, right? Because imagine him shouting, "You son of a bitch!"
It would be, like, tough to, like... Because Dexy's a guy I can imagine who's just a blowhard asshole who would get easily beaten in fights and stuff. Macho Man getting beaten in fights is a bit like... You sure? Like, Macho Man is Jeff. I get, like, because it's, but no, he's properly intimidating and stuff. I would understand why you'd be scared of him. So, this whole scene did remind me of the King of the Hill episode with Macho Man.
Oh God, yeah.
Because there was one where like Bill joins a gym and he actually gets ripped, but he runs into like gym heads who are just like proper muscle bound, like proper meatheads, and one of them is voiced by Macho Man Randy Savage. And there's this amazing bit where like Bill has like a hernia and it's just like lying on his garage floor, not able to do anything. But by him like trying to get up, they keep thinking he's working out or something.
Yeah.
So like Hank looks over and it's just him on the floor going, "Oh!" And the Macho Man next to him going, "Yeah, come on, brother, keep pushing it, yeah."
Holy crap! How did I forget that?
Oh, it was a great episode. Absolutely amazing episode.
I love this as well. Like, these dudes roast Dexy and his boys for getting beaten up. By roast, I mean attempt to burn them with tepid water.
Yeah.
You should stay away from Girl Scouts.
The thing is, dude, he really, the way he kind of pauses at the start to make sure everyone's paying attention. To be like, I got a good one. Okay, so you gotta stay away from Girl Scouts,
It doesn't really get much of a reaction.
It does. It all seems like improv too.
Oh,
because there's like the guy, the guy with the dark hair, who's like the George Harrison heroin chic. Like he looks like a 12-year-old girl put on a fake mustache and is pretending to be George Harrison. Or is pretending to be Jeff. Maybe her beard fell off or something. But because she gets like, oh, did you get the license plate of that truck that hit ya?
Whoa! Nice one.
Kid Rock next to her. I can't make out what the hell he says. Like, as if he had a thing, and then then the guy next to her said something, and he got lost, so he's just kind of like,
Well, your first instincts are correct. In the commentary track, they reveal that all of the mocking dialogue is improvised.
Oh, what a twist.
But they say how it's really good because they defend it as, well, this is how these kids talk.
Kids?
That's what they call them, kids, because they're Kim's kids. Kids like Scott's tots, Kim's kids.
Hey, Mr. Kim, what you gonna do?
Holy crap. So they're saying how good it is. Like, this is just how these kids talk, We said just speak how you would speak in this situation.
This is calling these guys kids like that. Like the guy we love, the heavy guy. Calling him a kid is like, remember that episode of Star Trek where they landed on the planet that was like, once you like turn like 20 or something, or once you became an adult, you had to die.
Yeah,
and it was like a planet full of teenagers basically. And one of the guys in it was like, he is clearly 40 years old. Like, it was some actor, so he looked just like this guy. He had like freaking like a dowdy beard and everything. And you should be like, and he was like one of the big leaders of the group too. So you'd be like, dude, if anyone's gonna die, so it's clearly gonna be you, because you clearly aged out of this role by 20 years.
I think the implication in that is that character is he's basically on his last legs. They're gonna get rid of him any day now, but he's clearly too old to be doing that.
It's really, he's the one who really swinging around. It's like, oh, I don't want to trust adults. So you think at the end of your days, you'd be like, well, maybe we can let people stick around, I can't see what the problem is.
I've had a change of heart.
I've had one of my trademark changes of heart. But that guy though, just his whole ensemble, because it is just like shirtless, and then insanely tight jeans and big honking boots. And then sunglasses on top of it. And carrying himself, to be fair, with the air of a man who has all the confidence in the world. So I again, we said it earlier in the episode, but I applaud him for just being like, that's right. Yeah, so what? He's like, I'm a big guy, but so what?
He's a big guy, but he looks tougher than the rest of them. Big guys can be powerful.
Yeah, well, he does look, if you like punch them in the stomach, like, he ain't gonna affect them.
Yeah.
Like, he has a meaty valve about him. Like, he seems like he wouldn't be a good fighter, but he'd keep going, kind of thing. Although all of them seem to be under the misapprehension that, like, someone coming in who's injured, it must mean that they lost a fight. Because it would just be like, well, you can get beat up, but also have won,
That's a very good point. Unless they've... If it was their gang, actually, they wouldn't be making fun of him, right? So it mustn't have been them, but maybe they've heard about it, down at the bad guy pub.
Or maybe they used to play Dexys in the gym all the time, and then they heard about them getting beaten up, so that's why there's no music. Don't play those assholes anymore.
It's the only CD they had in the back. It's like, no, don't put it on, I don't care.
And then someone got a Dragon Sound CD, and Jeff was like, what the hell is that? It's like, what? Jeff's sitting there enjoying it. He's like, what's this song called? It's called Friends. Friends! This goes down like, I was going to say the CD, but back then it would have been like an 8-track or something. Particularly with the budget of this movie, it would have been like a gramophone record.
It's a very good point, actually. Cassettes, maybe cassette.
It probably would have been a cassette, I imagine. 86, yeah. But that definitely would have been CD at that point. But
they existed, but I don't think people really had them. Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I don't see Dragon Sound putting down things on vinyl. Quite frankly, I don't think they had that kind of clout.
No, and it wasn't cool then.
Yeah. I just think more too. That would be more like, that's more of a commitment. The cassettes seem like, no, we can throw something on a cassette because it's like a little small thing, whatever. Yeah. But like a proper, if you're putting it on vinyl, it's like a proper record you're making, But And although you don't know, you might get like a an 8-inch or something out of Dragon Sound.
I don't know. The 80s is weird for records. Like they're still around, they're still making them, but nobody's really buying them, so they're making them dirt cheap. Like if you buy original records, a lot of the later 80s ones, they're really flimsy. Like I've got some Duran Duran ones that are just like they flop. They're floppy. You're like, what the hell? Because they made them for nothing. Because nobody's buying them. So like, screw it. We don't care.
Yeah. I mean, that's why maybe they bought some Dragon Sound floppies, and then they're just like just slurped out of the record player. It was literally it was virtually liquid when we put it on.
Oh, that's the next evolution in music. Liquid records. You pour it onto your record player.
That'd be a weird pitch coming in, but like. We have records now that are like they're just up in the air. Like you don't even need any physical media with them. It's like no, liquid records.
I still maintain that vinyl records seem more futuristic than anything else.
But yeah. So did you get Kid Rock's insult though? Because like I could make out. I feel like we should give this guy like the bandana sunglasses heavyset guy like a name. Because he will feature again, like he's gonna pop up. So
well, I mean, I'm leaning to Vader, but
Vader works.
Vader did for a while get called Big Van Vader. I don't know what that's all about.
Was he a big Van Morrison fan or something?
Maybe. I always thought of it as like Van, like a Dutch name, because he's ginger. There's some ginger Dutch people, so I was like, well, maybe it's like Van Vader. I don't know.
It'd be literally one of those things that was like, someone heard him sing Brown Eyed Girl one time. And that turned into Big Van Vader. It was like friggin' guy I knew at school one time wore a purple jumper and people called him Barney for friggin' years.
Oh, yeah.
It's just these the stupidest nicknames are always the ones that stick.
And that's you for the rest of your school life.
No, I think he'd still get called Barney at people, but like I haven't seen him in years, but like I would not be surprised.
All right, Barney. Why am I doing a Cockney voice? You're Irish.
Yeah, so I think we're working out a good system here. We got Vader, Kid Rock, Dexys, and then George Harrison in there as well. And this other guy though shows up.
Yeah,
feels like he's more of a representative of. He's like the third in line, I guess. It's like, I was gonna say third in line would be Yoshido, Jeff, then this guy, but I guess Jeff and Yoshido aren't officially like they're friends, but they're friends. But they're
don't call them friends. They're lovers, not friends.
Like this guy looks like he wants to be a Jeff, but he can't grow the beard, so he's just wearing Jeff's clothes.
The gang can call him Jeff Jr.
Jeju. The thing though, like the Homer does that, the Hoju thing. Like you don't have, it doesn't look like he'll have any follow up to it if you say no. But like, imagine if you said no to Jeff about that, like you wouldn't be leaving with all your teeth. Like
no, exactly.
This guy is now Jeju because you can't get out of it. Like, he's trapped forever.
So are we going with Jeju? Actually, that's interesting. Yeah.
Don't know how many more minutes he appears in, but like we end up having to say Jeju for every other episode of the show.
I'm happy to do that.
Yeah.
So there you go. We've got our little core 4.
Yeah, the core 4. Oh, it's weird that you haven't seen Scream 6 yet. There's a big recurring thing about the main characters and they've been called the Core 4.
Oh, so. Whoa! What the hell?
Yeah. It's one of those things that like someone in the group suggests it and they're like, no, we're not calling ourselves that. And of course, by the end of the movie, they're all like Core 4 and stuff. Huh?
I hope they chant it like Evil Dies Tonight, Core 4, Core 4.
No, but most of them are gravely injured by the time they come around to it. So,
God damn it.
Yeah. We'll also say too, I have to bring up about again the marinara stain on top of Dexy's his bandage there. It's more it's the fact you can tell that it's been added on. It doesn't look like a blood wound would come like it'll be darker in the center because of, the concentration would be spreading out. This is very clearly just like dabbed a very watered down paintbrush and just dabbed it on the top of his head.
Yeah, you're right. It's clearly been put on the outside. It's not soaked through.
And how bad is this injury? Like that it's still got blood seeping through. Is he like a hemophiliac? Like what's going on? Like
I'm a bit of a bleeder. I feel his pain.
Well, don't know. It feels like we should have, unless he just hasn't changed it, because it's been like a couple of days, right? So it's been since like they went to the beach and stuff since.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you need to be changing that bandage, dude.
Yeah, I guess maybe he could be like he said, "Gosh, sons of bitches, I'm a hemophiliac, and they don't even know that I can't even clot for shit around it."
So now we've got more headcanon. We're going to make a wiki with all this, Dexy, the haemophiliac.
This is all going into the the spec novelization we're doing, John.
I really wish I'd been keeping notes of this, right? Because most of the novelization stuff we've come up with has been on the fly. It's not been things we've planned, listeners, and I haven't been writing it down after the fact.
Yes, we have to go now listen back to like 100 episodes of our own show to be like, okay, what we said we're going to do this time, all right?
Yeah, we should be doing that. You know what, listeners? If you want me to do that, at the very least, I'm going to make some kind of wiki if you want.
Yeah. Then, yeah, because of all good novelizations, there has to be a chapter about a side character who adds nothing to the story and is just there to pet. So you'd have a whole chapter about like Dexy's hemophilia doctor who like checks him every once in a while. And he'd have a whole backstory about his family and stuff. And then he's just like, oh my God, he came in and he had this head wound. I thought he was going to die. And then,
it takes you like half the chapter to realize where it's leading. Yeah.
You really are. Like, why are we following Dr. Albert Moss for 30 pages?
And then it all comes together. Oh my God.
And people are just reading it like, just get back the dragon sound, will you?
Yeah, in this day and age, people are like, this is filler.
Yeah.
Everything's filler now.
Yeah. Although it's even that's pretty much that is exactly true. Unless it is all just plot all the time, moving you to the next stage. Mm-hmm. Everything's there's no such thing as character work anymore.
No. If you spend 5 minutes on the characters, filler.
Yeah. But yeah. So Jeju. He says to Dexy says to him, like, "Oh, I talked to your boss." Oh. And then, well, what do you want him for? It's business. Go get him.
I'm surprised Jeff Jr. obliges. Maybe he thinks, you know what, I will, because Jeff will kick this guy's ass if he needs to.
I don't know. He's got sunglasses. They do come across a lot more intimidating than the guys in the place. Like, they don't look like they'd be the sniveling little assholes going around with a stick trying to hit you unawares. They seem... Yeah. We do know that they at least are very upfront about when they're going to beat you up.
They let you know.
Yeah. Oh, the biggest thing the biggest pain for Dexy's must be he had that cool tweed flat cap, and then I can't wear it because it'll just get soaked with blood.
Oh no! Maybe it's expensive. He doesn't want to stain it. Oh.
Yeah, it's from his grandfather. Left it to him when he came over from Birmingham with his British new wave. It's a soul ska band.
It inspired him to be a musician as well.
Yeah. But yeah. But I do, because we do get a little glimpse of Jeff. And in fact, he's summoned. He's such a good ninja. He's such a good martial artist. They didn't even need to say his name. Like, just the guy doing like a hand chop motion through the air. He could sense the motion in the air wafted over to Jeff.
Jeff is always there, always ready.
Yeah. He's sitting there like doing proper... He's like... It's just in my head because I was watching it earlier today. But he's like Colonel Stewart in Die Hard 2. Oh. He's in there like working out naked, doing like his chi and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that scene in Die Hard 2 because it's so out of nowhere. Just all of a sudden, guy in the nude.
Yeah. It's like scene 2. It's literally like, we were just, all right, here's John McClane again. Oh, naked guy. Like,
not just a naked guy doing Tai Chi.
Not just naked death from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. It's like, what the hell? But, he's sinewy as well. But it's distracting because that scene is giving you, in a very kind of clumsy manner, like all the exposition you need to know about the main villain. Like, well, I suppose he actually is the main villain, but the guy that he's rescuing from the plane, the colonel guy. But I can never concentrate on what they're saying, so I'm too busy looking at the naked guy doing his kata,
You're
like,
taking it all in.
It's like, this is very distracting, But yeah, one of my big takeaways is that the Die Hard 2 is like, it's a worse film than the first on the third Die Hard. It's very clumsily written, and a lot of the jokes don't work, but it's still pretty good.
Oh, I still
because-
love it. Yeah, it's the worst of the trilogy, and there are only 3.
Of course, yeah. But no, it's just at the end, like midway through, you're just like, yeah, there's a lot of crazy crap happening. I'm having a great time. Like, I'm really enjoying all this mania that's happening now.
Exactly.
And just for some reason, Bruce Willis is in the middle of all of it. All right, he's still here for some reason. But yeah.
I appreciate as well, you know, all 3 of those movies, and even into the next 2, you know. I appreciate that they at least try and put him in different situations.
Yeah.
It's not literally the same.
Well, that always annoys me that people always call Die Hard 2 Die Hard on a plane. Because it's like, he's not on a plane.
Nope.
Like, his wife's on a plane. And she barely does anything because you can't really do anything when you're up there. Like, John McClane is in the airport running from place to place. He goes out to a friggin' church on a hill at one point. He's not on he is not, like, localized the way like he was in the first movie. Was that people are like, oh, that's the big thing they did with the third one, because it's Die Hard in a city where he's running around all over the place. Like, he was running around all over the place in the second movie. What the hell are you talking about?
The third one is just the next step. It's just the next evolution of him running around everywhere.
Yeah. Die Hard 4 should have really been him, like, going from country to country and stuff.
And then 5 is planet to planet.
Maybe that might have been what they were arguing Die Hard 5. I don't remember anything about Die Hard 5 because it was, the hateful nightmare that I didn't want to watch. But.
I remember there's one good scene. It's like a car chase on the motorway, and I think he makes jokes about bad Russian drivers or something. I remember that bit I did actually get a laugh at, and the only other bit, they get attacked by a helicopter and somehow get away from it, like later on in the movie.
There are only 5, right? There's no. I was getting to the point. I was like, there might have been a 6th one that slipped out that I just because I was just so like, no, we're not doing this.
They were allegedly working on a kind of prequel sequel,
like a Godfather 2, like John McClane nowadays versus like young McClane, starting up kind of thing.
They were gonna do that, but obviously with what's happening with Bruce, I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah. No, it feels now like they'll probably be like, we probably should wait until he's gone before we do anything with Die Hard. They definitely will do something with it because it's hot IP. But so there's probably Hollywood producers sitting around going, So they have to wait till he's dead at least? Or like, how far along can we... How many years until we can go Die Hard to people? But
they'll reboot it. Fuck,
It's the same thing, too, because Robert Zemeckis said in his lifetime he will not allow them to remake Back to the Future.
Oh, I love that he said that as well, yeah.
But it just means the day that he dies, they will be like, guess what's going into production, baby? Back to the Future.
The announcement will drop that afternoon.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, what about time it was weird for us, because it was clearly a coincidence. But it was like, remember the day they announced that Michael Keaton was coming back as Batman? It was the same day that Joel Schumacher dies.
Oh, yeah.
So it felt as if he was, like, holding back the gates or something. I was like, Schumacher's gone. We can bring back Keaton now.
It was in his contract. Like, as long as I'm alive, there'll be no Michael Keaton.
It was the one weird thing he had in his contract. Was like, well, he agreed he wouldn't come back while I was alive. So even though I've not worked in a Batman movie for about 25 years now, and even though I don't care about the franchise anymore, and they've made several since with different actors... No, I still wouldn't let that go.
Yes, it's not the point.
It's the principle of it. And now, then he's just like, and Keaton was sitting around and he just like, he was sitting in his lonely chair. And then the signal went up.
Yeah, and he got up. I'm needed.
And it just said DS or SD because it was Schumacher's dead.
We miss you, Joel. We love you.
Wow. Yeah.
Press F.
But no, it was just genuine getting into it. Things like, for a second there, I was like, so remember Die Hard 4 was like, that was bad, but it wasn't that bad. And I was like, was it such a drastic drop? But the 5th one was just unwatchable. Because I thought maybe there was another one in between where it got gradually worse.
No, 4's all right, I think, but 5 is god-awful.
Yeah. So remember, because of, not to get too sidetracked in the Die Hard talk, but it's like, first is, it's amazing. Second is clunky, but good. Third is also amazing. At times, I have argued, better than the first.
Oh, don't go there.
And then 4th is just like, it would be great if it wasn't a Die Hard movie. It has the legacy against it, because it's like, this is a perfectly fine action movie, but you're making me compare it to Die Hard, and now you're kind of setting yourself up for a fail.
Yeah.
And then fifth one, I remember when like I just started like cleaning the room when I was watching it. I was just that bored. I was just like, I can't believe they've done this. This is awful. But and it was that period too with it was Jai Courtney where they're like, we're making Jai Courtney a thing. All right, like Hollywood just decided that was it, and I was like, the fuck you are.
I refuse to accept him as a thing.
Yeah. It's like I saw out Sam Worthington. I'll see out this asshole too.
Anyone you try and force on us, we're gonna deal with them. But I only have one more note, really, which is the commentary track. It's not a particularly exciting one because I read my exciting one about the dialogue. It's just that this scene was, despite being set at a gym, and, you know, last minute we talked about different gyms in the area, it was actually shot not in a gym, not in a normal gym. It was shot at one of the Grandmaster schools in Orlando.
Yeah, that makes fiduciary sense.
Yes. And guess who all of the people in the scene are?
Are they YK Kim's accountants?
Close.
To be fair, his accountants probably were his students as well. Like,
actually,
I'm sure he probably got some deals going. Like, well, okay, if you shave off, you know, a couple of $1,000 from your fee, I'll teach you Taekwondo.
That's how he got everything. It's like he goes to the dentist. It's like, you know, I'll give you a deal at my school if you give me a deal on these teeth. Yeah.
I won't begrudge him it. You know, he's teaching them a skill. They're getting their money's worth out of him. So.
But no, you are correct there. It is filled with his students.
Yeah. I was really hoping, though, you're going to say like they filmed it in a local bank or something. He had to go in and be like, yeah, do you mind if I take this is the closest it looks to a gym in the area. And the actual gyms won't allow us in, so.
Then again, for the band, we shot a music video, and it was meant to be a bank, but we just used the outside of a bank, and the inside was just a random community centre that we went to, and they were like, yeah, you can use the back.
Well, but, you know, he's You can't use cows on camera, John. You know, cows don't look like cows on camera. You got to use horses.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why you can't use students on film, because they don't look like martial artists. You've got to use accountants.
There are some of these guys now, though, are a bit like, were these YK Kim students, though? Like Kid Rock and stuff. Was he?
Yeah. These guys especially are, yeah.
He has a vibe about him. He's well cast, because as soon as you see him, he looks like a hateful asshole. I guess you couldn't cast him as like Jim. No, you know, you'd be like, oh, I instantly hate this guy to look at him. So he looks like a dick.
He looks dirty.
Yeah. He looks like the kind of guy, like, if I was YK Kim, I'd be like, I don't want him in my class. I think he's going to be an asshole. He looks like Kid Rock, for Christ's sake. But
people didn't know how bad Kid Rock would become. I admit I had a Kid Rock album back in like 2000.
I think you'd be forgiven for having one in 2000, Sean. You were like 14 at the time. Come on. Yeah. But and Vader was also a student. Is that what you're positing?
All these guys, every one of them. These are the four he's calling their kids.
The core four.
The core four, baby.
Like they come together. It's like the Power Rangers. It's core four. Assemble. Vader.
They can link together to form some sort of giant kung fu master.
Yeah. So what was the four? Vader, Kid Rock, George Harrison, Jeju. They all join their rings together.
Yeah.
Oh man, that'd be a great ending. They form a Zord.
And it's those rings that you pop open. They've got cocaine in them.
Oh yeah, you think they're gonna turn into like a big Zord, but they just snort a load of cocaine. To just go buck wild.
Just snort it and go, let's get nuts.
And even Dexy's just like, okay, I'm out. It's too much for me.
Oh.
Yeah. I think really should be the last scene of the movie should be like as YK Kim's going, crazy with a sword and he's killed everybody else. They should just have a scene of Dexy still alive, viewing him and it's slithering off to be like, at the end of like A New Hope when Vader's, the TIE Interceptor is still like, oh no, Darth Vader's still out there somewhere. There should be a little like, no, Dexy's still around. He'll never let the grudge go. He'll never let it go, even though we still don't quite understand why they drag us out didn't do it deliberately. What the hell, man?
Dexy will return in Miami Minutes 2, Miami Connection 2.
That's a big climax of the third movie. They're like, why do you hate us so much? It's like, you got me fired from that place. Like, did we? I mean, you've never explained this to us.
Oh, God. Yeah, they're in the dark. They're in the dark.
Yeah. But I guess he did explain it when he came up. He confronted him in the car, but it wasn't a coherent explanation. Let's just say that. It was basically like a homeless maniac coming up and ranting at you. Just been like, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. Yeah, but yes, that's I'm all into that for this minute. So yeah, I'm just happy to see this again because we're doing one a week. It's been like so long since we've seen Jeff. It's gonna be like a nice reunion. It's been a while since we got to talk about him.
Yeah, it's interesting doing it this way. It's very different and in a good way. It makes every minute you savor it. Hence why our episodes are so long and we don't care.
It's just weird too because like. Just for a little how the sausage made for people, because we're doing this project concurrent the next season of Batman. And Batman usually takes like half a year to do a season because like the movie's that long. But Mask of the Phantasm is like 75 minutes, and we're basically nearly halfway through the movie now. Like we've flown through it. It's like crazy how fast it's going. Yeah. Whereas this one's just like, we will lap. We'll be done with the next movie by the time we're finished Miami Connection. So.
That's it. You got to enjoy it. Take your time. You got to be zen about this film.
Yeah. You got to sit down in your nice workout jeans, get your shirt off, smear on something that looks like sweat because I don't believe these guys actually broke a sweat in here unless they just turned the heating. They just turned the heating up a little bit too much. But
maybe some spray bottles going.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will break the connection. We'll zip up our jeans. We'll take off our tops. And,
right up to your ribs.
Right up to those ribs, baby. Come and speak to us on Facebook at the Miami Minutes Taekwondo Orphanage. Find us on everything: Twitter, Instagram, all of them. We're on every social media that isn't TikTok because I'm not doing that. I'm not 14.
As well as just wait it out. It's just like, it'll go eventually.
It'll go, yeah. I've tried to get into it and I hate it.
It's like, I waited out Bebo. I waited out all these things. I ain't joining that.
Well, we'll wait it out. If you want us to join it, I think that's the one that I can't indulge you on. But we're on everything else. And check out our network, Sleepy Charlie Media, on Patreon and TeePublic. And we will be back in 1 week with minute 36 of Miami Minutes. It's time! It's time! It's Vader time!
Listen to me!